when I got $10,000 a day. Ashley Gomez, a girl from a low-income family, had always dreamed of a perfect life, willing to endure and serve within a circle of the wealthy. But after overhearing her boyfriend and his friends' cruel remarks about her, Ashley decides she will no longer be a pawn in their games. She quickly shifts her role from a submissive pleaser to a cold-hearted avenger, turning the tables on those who looked down on her. Ashley Gomez is so funny, acting all submissive, just like a maid. Whatever you ask her to do, she does, always eager to please others, with no backbone at all. Maybe that's just how poor people are, born with a humble streak, especially those women in administrative HR roles, utterly lacking ambition, just aiming to snag a rich husband. I overheard the comments while standing outside a partially open room. Inside, my boyfriend, Archer Flynn, and his friends were drinking, dressed in the finest designer brands, Gucci, Chanel, Hermes. The men looked dapper, the women exquisite, like a scene from a high society movie, yet their words cut me like a knife. I glanced down at my modest Uniqlo jacket and the pastries I was holding. Half an hour ago, one of Archer's female friends had asked for these specific pastries, and Archer had requested that I fetch them, along with a few other things the group casually requested. I agreed happily, as I always did, thinking they were my friends. But now I saw the truth. Yes, I dreamed of marrying a handsome, wealthy man who adored me, because I was poor. Every girl thought that way. But what great sin had I committed? What was so unforgivable that they would talk about me like this? I bit my lip, uncertain whether to step inside. Peering through the door, I looked eagerly at Archer, hoping he would defend me. Other than her looks, Ashley's got nothing, Archer said flatly. She's no match for Sienna. Others chimed in with admiration. Yes, Sienna Blair may be from humble origins, but she's pure and principled, never swayed by money or power. She truly has integrity. In the spacious private room, several wealthy young men wore nostalgic expressions, clearly fond of Sienna Blair. Ashley is just Sienna's stand-in, a girl said disdainfully. I felt as if struck by lightning. I pushed the door open and entered. They immediately ceased their chatter. As I handed them their things, everyone politely thanked me. To my face, they were all polished and respectful, treating me as an equal, but behind my back, they reduced me to dust. I had always wondered why the handsome and wealthy Archer fell for me at first sight and pursued me so aggressively. I felt insecure, so I instinctively tried my best to be nice to them. Now, I realize this approach was a mistake. The more you try to please, the less respect you receive. After the gathering, I drove Archer back to his place. The night was calm and serene, but I felt like nothing more than a free nanny, errand runner, and driver. Why should I tolerate this? Returning to his upscale apartment, Archer took off his coat, intending to shower, but I stopped him, holding up the shopping receipt. Archer, the money for the cake and cigarettes we bought today. Give it to me. Archer responded indifferently. In a bit. He brushed past me towards the bathroom. I blocked his path again, insisting, give it to me. It's late. I need to go home. Archer raised an eyebrow in annoyance. Can you stop being such a downer every time? Always asking for money. It's embarrassing and tacky. I was bewildered and shocked. He and his friends had me buy things, and I always paid up front. In his eyes, my asking for my own money back was tacky and shameful. It's just a few $100s, he said sternly. You really have the nerve to ask me for it? He pushed past me into the bathroom, and as I listened to the running water, I felt a chill. After sitting for a while, I picked up my purse and left the apartment to return to my rental. My mind was in turmoil. After finally falling asleep, I had a dream. In the dream, I was the villainous supporting character in a Mary Sue novel. The heroine was Sienna, and I was her substitute after she left, scheming to marry into wealth. Everyone loved Sienna, including the main and supporting male characters. Because I resembled Sienna, I received their attention and gradually grew ambitious, losing sight of who I was. When Sienna returned, I tried every trick to sabotage her, but ended up disfigured and disabled by her suitors. No, I woke from the nightmare, sitting up and gasping for air. The dream felt so real. If I hadn't heard Archer and the others demeaning me today, I might have believed I'd really transformed and indulged in that sweet dream. Now that I knew the plot, I decided to give up. For an entire week, I hadn't contacted Archer. Over the weekend, I was at home diligently studying for the CPA. I also have a second major in finance, and combined with my proficiency in French, I hope to land a job at a major company someday. Suddenly, my phone rang. It was Archer. Before, I would have eagerly answered, always ready to help, but now I simply glanced at it and pressed ignore. He called again, 5 times in total, and each time, I ignored the call. Soon after, there was a forceful knocking at my my door. I opened it to find Archer standing there, his handsome face utterly darkened. I calmly let him in. "Why aren't you answering my calls?" he demanded. I looked up at him and said, "Archer, let's break up." "Break up? Why on earth would we do that?" he asked, tugging at his tie, visibly irritated. "You see me as a substitute for Sienna, don't you?" I confronted him directly, not wanting to waste any more time or emotions on him. He froze. I pushed him out of the room. "Leave, and don't bother me again. Oh, and remember the $350 you owe me? Please transfer it." With a loud slam, I closed the door and slumped down, exhausted. Then I got back up, my eyes resilient. The sentiments of the past wouldn't bring me down. The role of the wicked woman could be played by someone else. I was tired of entangling with trash. Sienna, and those three guys, their love-hate drama. If I couldn't handle it, I could at least avoid it. I needed to study hard and boost my abilities. While I devoted myself to studying and working, Archer didn't want to break up. Initially, he was aggressive, thinking I was playing hard to get. After I threw the flowers he bought into the trash twice, he finally realized my resolve and softened his approach. "What exactly do you want?" He cornered me outside the rental, reeking of alcohol, pinning me against the wall. "Sienna is a celestial beauty, and you're just dirt. She's pristine and untainted by greed, while you come whining to me over $300. Being her double is your good fortune. Get out of my way." "No, you want money, right? I'll give it to you. How much do you want?" I pushed him several times, but he didn't budge. To him, I was just dirt, a woman only after money. "Fine," I smiled. "You're only after me because I look like Sienna. I can act like her, be her double. $1,000 per hour. How about that?" He paused, then disdainfully transferred $1,000 to me. "Is that enough now?" His look seemed to say, "See, you just love money. There's your true face." He took me away to hang out with his friends. I stopped and said, "That's a different rate. 100 per friend, plus extra for running errands and buying things." Archer's face turned pale, and after a moment, he begrudgingly said, "Fine. Payment first," I said, opening my hands. Archer exploded in anger. "Do you think I'd stiff you?" I lifted my eyelids slightly. "The $300 from a few days ago took several reminders before you paid. This isn't the first time you've tried to dodge." "You." Archer gritted his teeth, and to prove he wasn't short on money, he transferred $5,000 to me directly. I calmly said, "I'll refund the excess or ask for more if it's not enough." Final showdown. At the club, I mingled with Archer's friends as usual, but without the previous eagerness to please, my smiles barely concealed my disdain. Since there would be no future dealings, and no benefits to gain, I didn't care about them at all. Archer's friends were not pleased and seemed to whisper something to him. Soon after, Archer pulled me aside and said quietly, "Why can't you just be civil?" What did he mean by being civil? I was only treating them the way they treated me. Oh, and I hadn't even started insulting them. "If you want me to greet everyone with a smile like before, it's an extra $200 per person. You have 5 friends, plus the initial $100, that's $300 each now, a total of $1,500, I said. Archer, grinding his teeth, agreed, "Fine." With Archer's transfer in hand, I put on a performance with a flawless smile, warm and considerate, ensuring everyone was well taken care of. I even persuaded one of Archer's friends who wanted to leave early, to stay longer. Everyone was thrilled, including Archer. But I knew, after tonight, we would be done for good. His friends could think whatever they wanted. After leaving the club, Archer's friends still talked behind my back, as if the flattery and warmth they had received were just performances for the sake of money. They complained that I was no match for Sienna, and expressed sympathy for Archer, wishing him well. I smiled inwardly, unfazed by their comments. Their words meant nothing to me now.
Search 12143 on Novel Short to read book for free.